Yeah, my name is Gary Zientara, and I live here in the Sangre de Cristo Mountains near Angel Fire. My wife and I have been here for about 6 years so far. I come originally from Illinois. I work for United Airlines until at least July, where I have mandatory retirement and I can give my full-time attention to astronomy. My original career ambition was space travel, which never happened. So I'm very happy I got close to space, but I still immensely enjoyed my career as an airline pilot. But I really wanted to put on the helmet and fly out in space. This is the shutter that is now in the open position, so the actual slot, and we can walk around and see it, is on the other side. And of course, when I close it, this shutter will slide back over the top of the dome to cover up the opening. You can also see the telescope has a kind of like a violet color on the face of it, and that's the coatings that are put on the faceplate to keep the light transmission to a maximum and scattering of light to a minimum. When you were a child, a baby in the playpen, which most of us can't remember that far back, what was one of the first things you looked at? Your fingers and your toes, and you started learning about your environment. And I'd say, look to the skies, because that's where we are. Learn about your environment. The payback in the wonderment is just so great that it's worth it for all of us, no matter what our likes and desires and dislikes are. To learn about our environment is extremely important, and I think key to the future of our species. When I was about 10 years old, my dad bought me a small telescope, 4-inch diameter telescope, and I was enthralled. I actually saw the 4 Galilean moons just like Galileo, only better, because the telescope, even as a child, that I had was much better than Galileo's. I thought by the time I reached the age I am right now that we would be routinely traveling between the planets in our solar system. It turned out not to be the case. Actually, for about 20 years I've been planning this. And this wasn't the original observatory design that I wanted to do. The original design that I was going to use is this one, Ash Dome. This one is one that I can completely computerize. So Ash Dome makes a fine product, but I elected to use PureTech because I could automate the entire dome and the telescope to work together. Earth is such a tiny speck compared to the environment of the universe that in order to really understand our position in life and in the universe, we need to see it. And unfortunately, many cities are putting up light fixtures and whatnot that keep us from seeing not only just part of it, but none of it. Perhaps the moon and maybe a couple of bright stars is all we see now in big cities like New York and Chicago. Thankfully, New Mexico has the Clear Dark Sky Protection Act that is not being followed well, but at least people are voluntarily doing it here. And that's one of the reasons I moved to New Mexico, actually the main reason, because of the clear skies out here and the ability to see so far into the distant past. So just for our posterity, not for me, but for those coming on, the next generations, if we continually light up the earth, we'll lose focus on where we really are. And that's sad and a bit dangerous. If you don't know where you are, how do you know where you're going?